welcome to Retro Media Talk Podcast. Today, we have to talk about this movie because guess what? Summer is at the tail end. It's almost, well, it's going to be August by the time this podcast comes out. We missed July. We should have put this out July, actually maybe June. But it's the big summer movie of 1975. We have to talk about it now before the summer's over. And it's, of course, one of my all-time favorite movies. Let us talk about the most iconic shark movie ever made. Now, let me start off by saying I watched the movie last night. I don't know about you guys, but I watched it in Blu-ray. And let me just tell you, did anybody else watch it in Blu-ray?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't have it.
All right, let me tell you what the Blu-ray transfer was like. The Blu-ray transfer was just incredible. It looked better than some of the movies today. I kid you not. The transfer was stunning. Everything was just perfect. The sound, the picture, everything. I highly recommend getting the Blu-ray. We'll provide a link also in the description where you can get the Blu-ray. But I got some. Well, first let me say what I thought about the movie rewatching it, because I never saw it in Blu-ray, and I watched it. It almost felt like a new movie. I know I say this like a lot, but that movie, when I really pay attention to it, I'm like blown away. I've seen that movie I don't know how many times, dozens of times. But there was stuff.
Did you see it at the drive-in?
No, I did not see it at the drive-in, but I will tell you this. When I was 4 years old, my family went to take me to Disney World down in Florida. And I remember at 4 years old, I was fascinated with sharks. And I was fascinated with the billboards when we got to Florida. They had billboards of Jaws all over the place. We went down when that movie had just come out, and people were freaked out to get into the water. But I was just fascinated with Jaws, just fascinated. But the problem is, I can't remember the first time I actually watched it. That's bugs me the most. I remember being at Cooch's house. Okay, that's Cooch is a nickname of one of our friends, and his dad, had the old HBO. We've talked about it before, with the box with the button, the old HBO box, and he would have that movie on every time it was on. And so I mean, it was just hilarious. It was Jaws. I seen that Jaws movie so many times over at their house, but at least parts of it. I watched another great movie the other night, a shark movie, not great, but pretty damn good. And it was that movie that I told you guys to watch called The Reef. There's a sequel that came out. Well, it's on the Shudder channel, whatever. It was pretty good. It had some good suspense, but the only reason I'm bringing that up is there was a lot of shots in Jaws that are comparable to kind of how they film. And when you really watch Jaws, with the way Spielberg shot the water and everything, it just amps up the suspense. You guys remember the scene where he goes down under the water, checks out the hole, the hole in that boat, and the head comes out?
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I knew the head was coming out, but it still got me every freaking time. Because when you watch it, like, with your stereo up or headphones, that sound effect that they use, I forget what they said in the making, or I might have it here, but it was like all these screams, that they put in there, and that thing it shocks me every time. The other thing that I noticed was the flow of the movie, because it's a build to the big climax. It's almost like Michael Myers stalking everybody. You see glimpses of the shark, but at the tail end is when you really get the view of the shark.
Yeah, I don't think you really see him until an hour in.
I was waiting to see, okay, let's see how fake it looks. I kid you not, man. I think it was amazing what they did. It's a robot shark. They made three robot sharks.
Yeah, and what's cool about that, I mean, if you've seen the making, I mean, this was like 1974. How did they get that to work with that kind of technology?
They said it would have cost $1 million per shark today, and that first shark sank. What do you guys think? Does the movie hold up to you guys, or what? Is Lago on here?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
It was okay. I mean, I haven't seen this movie probably since like 78. I mean, that's probably the last time.
78?
Yeah, I saw it probably on HBO. Like, that's when I saw it, and I've never watched it since then.
Oh, my gosh.
And
So you've seen it on a box TV.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that being said, I mean, it was a pretty good movie. I mean, it's... Roy Scheider.
You always know Lago is the most critical one when it comes to movies. He's struggling to say.
Wait a minute. I don't think he's too critical of Octopussy, though.
Yeah.
Right. No, it was okay. I mean,
tell us how you really feel.
for 1975, for what they did in 1975, it was a pretty good movie. But I mean, I'm sure when I saw it when I was young, I was probably scared watching the movie, but at no time was I nervous or anything. And I'm like, it's any time now the rubber shark's going to pop up with his mouth and attack them or whatever. But it was okay. I mean, the acting was good. Roy Scheider is awesome. He's an awesome actor.
Oh yeah, he is awesome.
And I thought the acting was pretty good, and I thought like the shots, like the location shots and all that kind of stuff were cool. I mean, it was a decent story. I mean, the dude that played Quint, I mean, he's a pretty good actor. I thought he was a good character and stuff like that.
He's hilarious.
But I don't really. I mean, the shark seemed pretty realistic for the time and the era. You know what I mean? It was good. It was
I'll
a good
be
story.
honest, though. I've watched so many shark movies, like tons, recently. And some of the modern shark movies, the CGI just looks so bad. This robot shark looks so much more realistic than some of the CGI sharks that they have done in more recent movies. And it just amazes me because it's 75.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, and they did cut in real sharks though, also in the making. I didn't realize that. Did you guys realize that?
Yeah. I figured. I knew that.
There was.
Yeah, you could tell some shots. Yeah, there was. Some.
Yeah, and I didn't know this. Remember that shark that they caught, and they thought it was the shark, that was doing all the killing.
Right.
They said, "We got the shark." Blah blah blah. That was a real shark. I did not know that. I thought that was a fake shark. They actually, somebody had caught that shark. They had caught it down in Florida, and they shipped it all the way to the movie set. They said when they filmed that scene, by the time it got to them, the shark smelled so bad. It was like decomposing at that point, and they had to really struggle to film that.
Well, I believe
scene.
That makes me wonder then the scene where Dreyfuss and Scheider go to cut it open.
Yeah.
Because he was acting like it stunk when he was cutting it open.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that was just acting or that was still the rotten shark.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Probably was the rotten shark.
Yeah, that is nuts, man. They actually used a real shark. I couldn't believe that. Now, you guys know where this fictional town is supposed to take place, right? Amity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where. I don't know where was it really shot. Somewhere off the coast of California or something.
No, it was shot at Martha's Vineyard. It's supposed to be like a Cape Cod, like off the coast of Long Island, little town.
Well, I thought that was where Amity was, just the fictitious town was.
What do you mean?
That it was off of Martha's Vineyard. Or did they just shoot it there?
Well, they shot it there. It's just a fictional town.
Okay, then where was the fictional town, supposed to be in the movie then?
Somewhere in Long Island, around there. which makes sense because you got Amityville House. So I'm thinking maybe somewhere around there, off some just fictional Cape Cod type of town. I assume Massachusetts, maybe, I guess, because that's where Martha's Vineyard. But no, not Massachusetts. That wouldn't make sense. But maybe around Long Island, I guess. Maybe there's I don't know.
I got one question.
Yeah.
Has anybody read the book?
I have the book still, but I've never fully read it.
I haven't read it either. I mean,
I still have it. Yeah, I still have it. But
I don't see the book could be exciting.
Well, the book, I guess, actually had Richard Dreyfuss dying in it. So he actually dies in the cage, gets eaten up. But I'm glad they changed that because that was great that he survived it. And
I mean, they might as well have just killed him off because I started watching Jaws 2 right after. And they pretty much wrote him out of the story, saying he was on his exploration boat and he couldn't be reached for the new problem in Jaws 2. So they might as well just killed him off, honestly. I mean,
well, yeah, but I mean, he was such a good character. I thought he was funny, and
yeah,
I liked that two of those guys survived, and then they're swimming back to shore and just chit chatting away, But yeah. I love the ending. I really do.
You did? You like when they're just paddling to shore on that raft? Or whatever?
I thought the ending was so intense because I was looking at the time and it ran like 2 hours and 4 minutes or something like that. The movie does, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, man! If you look at the time, you're thinking, how are they going to fit this ending in so quick? Because he's like, the boat's sinking. And he's getting ready to shoot, Jaws, and you only got a couple minutes left. 'Cause it's not like today. The credits run today for like 5 minutes, and I'm thinking, holy cow, are they gonna just? I know how it ends, but I mean, if you were watching the time, you're like, how are they gonna wrap this up in the amount of time? Because it's just bam, bam, bam.
Well, yeah, when it came out, though, nobody knew when the movie was going to end, so it ended how they wanted.
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
But, when you think about it, though, because I watched it over the course of like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And, basically, by the time the three of them get on the boat, the Orca or whatever, I mean, that's literally almost half of the movie. It's almost like the last hour, really.
Yeah,
that's how long.
It's the last act.
Yeah, I mean they're on there for almost half the movie.
Yeah, but there's no real slow times. The only slow times you have are like
funeral for the kid.
No, I mean like on the boat though.
Yeah, the only slow time on the boat was when they're showing each other their scars.
The scars,
and stuff.
right?
Yeah,
and they sing that goofy song.
Did you know that Quint asked Spielberg to be more authentic, that if he could he have a few drinks before shooting that scene, and I guess he showed up drunk out of his mind. They had to carry him off the set and they had to shoot the next day. And I guess he apologized to Spielberg like, I'm sorry I got so drunk. I thought, man, that's pretty funny, because when you watch that scene you really think, he really looks like he's been drinking. And
right.
I guess he was, but man, he really got tore up the first time they tried to film that scene. But yeah, so you guys know that Spielberg had a lot of problems getting this movie filmed. Yeah. It was just almost near impossible.
Yeah, he said that he would never film on the water ever again.
Yeah, and I always thought there was only one mechanical shark, but like I said, there was 3. I did not know that one. But I think they were like partial sharks. There was a full-size one, and then there was
just like 2 heads,
a left and right side shot. Yeah, sharks. So you gotta.
Now, did any of those sharks? Any of those sharks the sharks that they ended up taking to Universal Studios?
I don't know, man, because I'll be honest, I like that ride at Universal Studios. I think that is a really good ride, and that shark looks pretty damn good, I think.
So my big question is for the ending, right? Spoiler alert, right? The shark gets blown up with an oxygen tank.
Yeah.
But so he chucks that tank, at the last minute into the shark's mouth, and the shark takes off. I mean, why was the shark just like hanging out like, hey, let me just keep this oxygen tank in my mouth?
Well, I think it got so lodged that he knew the shark couldn't. Well, I guess he didn't know for sure, but he assumed that the shark wasn't going to be able to get the tank out of his mouth that easily. But yeah, I know it. But hey, it's a movie, right?
Well, yeah.
You're questioning like I did Goonies with the.
Well, only because, like I said, he just pitched it into his mouth.
Yeah.
Then the shark backs off, disappears in the water, and
Right.
then he comes back later charging at the boat. And so, how does he even assume that the tank is still right there? Because you couldn't see
You
it.
could see it. You could see it when he charges forward.
Yeah.
But
You could see it stuck in there.
But he climbed up onto that whatever the crow's nest thing, already thinking in his mind, that thing's going to be hanging out of his mouth, and I'm going to shoot it with the gun and blow him up.
I don't know if he was thinking that.
You gotta admit though, that's just one hell of a way to end a movie with that line, Smile, you son of a boom, I mean, come on, that was classic. But I like it better that they just didn't end it after Jaws blew up, because I knew I wasn't going to get anything like the town seeing them come back and yeah, you got the shark and this big celebration. Right. I knew they weren't going to go that far, which would have been cool, but yeah, it would have been too long probably for the theaters back then, or the budget. I don't know.
Another question is, what was Richard Dreyfuss doing down there for 20 minutes?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Well, it wasn't 20 minutes.
Maybe he was scared crapless,
I think he was hiding out down there because, I mean, hey, he's got this huge
I mean, how did he know it was time to
killing
come up?
machine after him? But he maybe could. He probably could have seen what was going on.
Still there?
Yeah. Okay, so we can agree that. Okay, well, I don't know. So, do you like the ending, or did you want more for that, Lago?
Well, I think it was appropriate, right? I mean, they had to kill the shark, and you knew they weren't. You knew that they weren't going to kill off everybody, right?
Right.
You knew the shark wasn't going to live. You knew the shark was going to die, and you knew they weren't going to kill off everybody. But I mean, honestly, I'd forgotten about Richard Dreyfuss underneath the water. I'd be like, oh well, he must have ran out of air or something, because I mean, he was gone for literally 15 minutes. I mean, we didn't see him.
Did you guys catch that guy in the beginning of the movie drinking the beer? It was Falstaff. You remember Falstaff?
No.
Vaguely.
Yeah, my grandpa used to have some of the Falstaff.
Well, that's
cans.
the cool thing about movies of that time period. When I watch that movie, I love watching for stuff in the background.
Yes,
because it's things that we don't see anymore.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I love period pieces.
Mm-hmm. Hey, one thing that's cool about what I saw on the news like a month ago. You remember the two kids that played the joke with the cardboard fin?
Yeah.
And he says, "He made me do it," or whatever. Yeah, that kid was actually like, his dad was like the chief of police on Martha's Vineyard, or I think it's Oaks something. I don't know if that's like a part of Martha's Vineyard or whatever, but he was just named chief of Oak Bluffs. He was just named police chief of Oak Bluffs 47 years after he filmed that scene. So he's actually the chief of police. He never went the route of a Hollywood actor. I thought that was pretty cool, but his name was Jonathan Searle. And that was just on the news like a month ago. Pretty cool little story. But
I know that through half the movie, the shark didn't work.
Yeah.
And so, thankfully, they could film, all the other scenes first on land.
Yeah, that's true. They were set to release Jaws at Christmas. Now, how depressing is that?
Yeah, that would have sucked.
That's what I thought. I was like, man, you're not going to scare anybody at Christmas time. From the water, I think that was awesome that they released it June, was it 20? Wait, I had that information. Well, it came out like June 20th, I think, 1975. So right before the summer.
And how about the mayor? I mean, the mayor was like the complete like dick in the movie. Right?
Oh, Larry?
Oh yeah,
yeah, that guy's
money
hilarious.
grubbing. Yeah, he was hilarious. But yeah, he's a great actor.
I'm not gonna let that little Kinzer kid fall out of that shark.
Okay, so what was your feeling walking away from the movie, Lago? Just it's okay, or it was awesome, or
it was a good movie. I mean, it's not like, wow, that's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And I don't think. I think for like I said, for a movie from that time, it's pretty awesome what they did. It was a good story, and like I said, they had some good actors in there, good acting. And,
okay. So, where did you watch it, and how did you watch it?
I watched it on Tubi.
Okay, so you had commercials.
Only one. So it wasn't that bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was probably in high def on Tubi, right?
It looked like it, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, picture looked really good.
All right. Well, that's cool. Okay, because I was thinking, since I've seen it in so many different formats, VHS, DVD, whatever, for some reason this Blu-ray just looks stunning. And I wish they'd do all 70s and 80s movies this good. And so to me, it was a fresh, new experience. Plus, I had the stereo up loud. But
yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it because, like I said, I haven't seen this movie probably in, 40 years. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I didn't remember anything about the story. Literally anything.
The line, "We're going to need a bigger boat," which is one of the most famous lines in the movie. Did you guys know it was ad-libbed by Roy Scheider? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. I didn't know that. I just found that out.
It was interesting, too, that the boat was called Orca, and then probably like a year or two later, they came out with that movie, Orca.
Yeah, and I do love that movie, Orca. But yeah, you're right. And the most interesting thing I found out is because another Spielberg movie that I absolutely love is Duel, that came out before Jaws.
Yes.
And he didn't want to do the movie after, like, he wanted to do the movie, then he didn't want to do the movie because he thought it would be a replica of his movie Duel, but in water. But then he changed his mind when people were, I guess the crew or something was so supportive. But yeah, I didn't know that.
I mean,
Duel is a good movie.
Duel is just that semi's chasing that guy in the car.
Yeah, it's like Jaws on the road. It's one of those great chase movies. Where somebody in a car stalking somebody. Like Joyride or
Maximum Overdrive.
Well, that was like they were like Maximum Overdrive was like supernatural cars or whatever, or super. They were like it was like Christine or something.
Do you remember that one part in Duel though, where the truck comes up from under the ground?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, come on.
I don't know about that. Yeah, but probably the best movie like Duel is like Breakdown. You guys seen that one? Breakdown with Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. That kind of reminds me of Duel. Those typical crazy driver movies.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, I guess Charlton Heston was considered for the role. Which
For who?
For Brody. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, I do love Charlton Heston, but I didn't know if you guys knew that one.
I didn't know that, but I don't know if I'd have liked it as much because I think.
Yeah, I'm with Lago.
I think Roy Scheider's he's good for the parties, and he's like I said, he's a really good actor.
Yeah, but back then, I mean, Charlton Heston was a lot younger. I think he could have pulled it off like he did, Soylent Green. I love that movie. That was about probably around the same time, I think. Or
was it?
Close.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. That's a good question. Should we look that up?
I actually just watched Soylent Green not too long ago. Probably in the past 6 months.
Have you seen that one, Mike?
No.
You got to see it. It's an awesome one. Okay, it came out in 1973. So 2 years before Jaws. Great movie. You got to see it. Okay, Lago. You asked if the shark ended up at Universal, which I don't know, but it does say the boat did. The boat ended up at Universal Studios in Hollywood, not Florida, but
then I
Hollywood.
seen it.
Yeah, you saw it. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on a minute. One day in 1996, when Spielberg went to visit the orca, he discovered it had disappeared. According to Spielberg, a Universal Studios employee had decided to chop up the mildewed and termite infested boat. All that remains now is a steering wheel and propeller and the anchor. Well, that's a sad part of the story.
Yeah.
Did you still see it? You were there before 96.
I was there in 94, so yeah, I got to go on the ride and see. I enjoyed the ride
termite
too.
Boat.
Yeah,
I have to. You know what? I have to go back and look at my recording and see if I got the boat in there.
Yeah, man. Spielberg says that Jaws was my Vietnam. I guess it was just so hard of a movie to do, which may account for they've never been able to outdo a Jaws movie, the original.
Like I said, I started watching Jaws 2 right after.
Oh, I love Jaws 2.
And I was actually going to say that I actually am enjoying Jaws 2 more than I am the original.
Wow.
Well, Jaws 2 is a good one. At first, I was like, it was a little unrealistic with the helicopter, but you know what?
Right.
It really isn't, because in South Africa, those great whites do jump out of the water. You seen those?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
So I guess they do. But when I was younger watching it, I thought, that's stupid. That shark ain't going to come out and grab that helicopter.
The best thing about Jaws 2 is that Williams did the score for it. And that one, I actually listened to that one more than the first one. But they're both great.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the music, because the music cracked me up, because when Spielberg first heard Williams do that score.
Yeah, I know the story you're going to tell.
He hated it. He thought he hated it. And then he apologized to him later after.
Yeah, you can see that. There's a movie out that is really good. I think it's still on Amazon Prime. It's called Score.
Oh yeah, Score. Yeah.
It is amazing. And there's the scene where he's playing that dun 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 on the piano, and he's like, "No, John, that's not the theme." And he's like, "It is."
Oh my gosh.
And he's just like, the look on his face is hilarious.
That's funny. Yeah, so
and now, without that, I mean, it's not as scary. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that theme.
It's that's what makes it scary. It's like the theme for Halloween. Without that music, the movie's not even remotely scary.
Right, and I think Jaws is like probably the most iconic of like that kind of scary themes. I would, you said it. Halloween has got to be number 2.
Well, yeah, Halloween, Jaws, The Exorcist, everything that came out of the 70s seemed like it just had, and Star Wars just had the most amazing theme songs, you know, that when you hear the song, you know what movie it is.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but I almost think they're all tied in a way. Maybe not The Exorcist, but I mean, Tubular Bells, that's a scary theme.
Psycho.
Psycho, yep, but that was before.
But it's still, you know, it's iconic. Everybody knows it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Everybody knows it. And it's weird that no other movie after that, except for some in the 80s, have ever been able to have a score so memorable. A theme, you know, like horror theme.
Right.
It's weird.
I mean, I would say Friday the 13th a little bit.
Well,
you know,
Friday the 13th, of course, but that was the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Friday the 13th, but nothing past like 90s. Nothing past the 90s. It's weird. It's just like drops. It's like I can't think of any horror films that had a theme so catchy that you know the movie. I mean, Halloween, come on, man. I mean, that's like the soundtrack to the season. You know? And when you get a horror compilation CD or whatever, they're always going to have Jaws and Halloween, and I guess The Shining had a kind of cool little theme to it.
So you consider Jaws a horror movie?
Jaws is definitely a horror film, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really, on IMDb it says adventure thriller.
Well, I would say it's a horror film because, I mean, come on. Jaws scared the crap out of people in 75.
Well, you got a point.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it's a horror film doesn't mean it's like going to scare the crap out of you. But, you know, it's a horror film.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could.
I mean, a lot of thrillers are kind of horror films too, but it's a horror thriller, I think.
Okay, going back to the music, there's a scene where they start putting the shark cage together.
Yeah.
And that whole montage is called the Shark Cage Fugue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in 94, when I got to see Williams in concert, he played that track. And it sounded like it was just right off the disc. I mean, it was amazing.
Wow. Hey, Retro Media Talk listeners, we have a special for you. If you want to get 10% off at Zavvi.com, Zavvi.com, and check out my exclusive coupon code, Steve-R, that's the letter R, 45U, and that's the letter U. So Steve-R45U. Zavvi carries a wide range of pop culture merchandise, everything from exclusive Blu-rays, all kinds of gaming stuff, music, anime, Funko, Hasbro, Lago, all kinds of brands, all kinds of horror stuff. And the best part about it is they got a flat rate shipping. $5.99 flat rate shipping. Zavvi, Zavvi.com. Use my coupon code, get 10% off. Steve-R, that's the letter R, 45U, and that's the letter U. So Steve-R45U. You guys are going to love shopping at Zavvi.
But I just noticed here, the budget for the movie was only $7 million. And they made
incredible.
Their opening weekend in the U.S. They made $7,061,000. So they made their money back on opening weekend.
Wow
for that.
Yeah, see, that's amazing.
And it grossed almost $261 million. So that was a huge haul.
And how long when it was on in theaters?
It just says gross U.S. and Canada $261 million.
And I mean that's, and who knows what they've grossed on DVD, VHS.
Right, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray.
Gosh, I can't even imagine.
So, I mean, that explains why they kept on churning out the sequels.
Yeah, and I haven't seen those sequels forever, except for maybe Jaws 2. But I
just watched Jaws 3 last year.
I saw it like last year too. Yeah.
Don't waste your time.
Well,
I mean, I bet you it was cool in 3D.
That's what I want to watch it in.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in the theater in 3D.
And I never got to go to see that in 3D, which really disappoints me. I don't know what the heck I was doing. Because it wasn't rated R. I think it was PG, wasn't it? Or PG-13?
Yeah, I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was rated R.
No. Because they were trying to give Jaws an R rating. And back then, that would have been a bad deal, I guess.
Right.
Because you don't want an R rating.
And nowadays, it doesn't even matter.
But Jaws, yeah, they almost gave it an R rating when that leg got bit off.
And then it kind of sinks to the bottom.
Yeah, I guess that was the part. They almost gave it an R rating.
Okay.
What else can we quickly talk about?
I just ordered the Jaws vinyl today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, let's talk about the cover art, the poster art. Can we all agree that's one of the most epic posters in movie history?
It's really good. There's different versions of it. You know, you see one with more of the greener water, and then there's some with the bluer water.
I just remember as a kid seeing that shark coming from the deep, heading for that naked girl swimming. And it always just... that
put a smile on your face.
Yeah, but it was just like the most scary looking cover I think I had ever seen, because I'm freaked out on the ocean. I'll admit it, man. I mean, I had a moray eel come at me one time, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. But the ocean scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
And that's what I think I love about Jaws, is I don't care if sharks usually don't attack you or not. Just seeing a shark in the water, if I was in the water, would probably give me a heart attack. I mean, just something that you can't see below you, especially, mm-hmm. the whole thing about, you're wading in water and at any moment something can grab your feet and pull you under. Just freaks the living crap out of me.
Yeah. But they do say, what they said in the movie, but it's also true that most sharks attack about 10 meters from the shore and about 3-4 foot of water.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. Probably because there's a lot more splashing maybe going on toward shore. I don't know.
And you think about it, when you go like you go on vacation and you go to the ocean, that's where you go. You go out about 10 meters and you're about 4 foot deep in the water. You're not going out very far, because you're thinking in your mind, I'm not going to go out too far. I don't want to get.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to happen to me. Right?
Yeah.
But really, it's probably the worst thing you can do.
I know. It's true. But it seems like every time I get in the ocean, which hasn't been for a long time, I'm always stepping on something that moves, and it freaks the hell out of me. I think I might have stepped on a stingray one time, and it just shot out. I mean, I jumped so far in the air out of the water and screamed like a little girl. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, that happened to me in Belize. I was in Belize, and waist deep water, and something big like brushed against my leg. And yeah, I about shit my pants. I'm surprised a turd just didn't bloop and just float up right next to me, because it scared the crap out of me.
Man.
And then about 30 minutes later, I got stung by a jellyfish.
Oh, yeah. A jellyfish, man, they freaked me out, dude.
We used to surf in the kelp beds because supposedly the sharks don't like to go through them. But there's a scene, I don't know if it's in the first one or the second one, where they specifically show the shark going through a kelp bed.
Really?
Yeah. My mom used to, I remember when I was real little, she had put on a T-shirt for me the Jaws iron-on transfer.
Yep. I had one of those patches, too.
It was the coolest thing.
Oh, yeah, I know, man. I had a jacket with it on.
Nice.
I'm surprised you don't remember. You got a good memory when we were younger. But
yeah, but we didn't start hanging out till like junior high.
Yeah, it probably was too. Maybe she didn't iron it on. But I have that patch somewhere. Unless I
Maybe
took
she
it
just
off the
sewed
jacket.
it on there. If it was a patch, she could have sewed it too.
Yeah, I gotta find that because I know I have it somewhere. I don't throw nothing away usually. I don't throw anything away. I might sell it though. That's my problem. I sell something, then
Why'd I sell
regrets. I got regrets all the time. What's interesting, you said that it cost $8 million to make.
$7 million.
Okay, I don't know. This one says it wound up costing $8 million to make, so I don't know what's accurate. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's the film's initial budget was. Did you say $3 million? $3.5 million?
It wasn't me. I don't know, but yeah, I think somebody said that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I got a question.
Well,
I don't
Raise your
remember
hand.
if it's.
well, hold on,
Yeah.
Gallus.
Raise your hand.
All right, hang on.
I was just reading the equivalent of $35 million in today's dollars was $8 million back then. Compare that with Pirates of Caribbean. It says $341.8 million budget, and Titanic cost $294.3 million. That's unreal. And Jaws only cost $8 million, which would have been $35 million. So that was actually a low budget film.
Yeah, it was.
I was just reading that and I was like, oh my gosh. Wow. But anyway, go ahead, Mike.
I don't remember if it's in the first one or the second one, but do you guys remember the video game that he's playing?
I was trying to figure out what that was.
I know.
The game is
remember.
called Shark Attack.
Oh, yeah, Shark Attack. You're right. I remember seeing that on the side or something of the arcade, or maybe it was something like. I remember seeing that now. But was that a real game then?
Yes, it's a real game.
Okay, that's why I was wondering if that was a real game.
Yeah, you can actually download the MAME for it.
Okay. See, Roy Scheider, the actor who did the leading role, obviously, I'm just reading, happened upon it by coincidence. At a party, he heard Spielberg describing the scene where the shark leaps up onto the boat and immediately asks for the role in the film. So he heard Spielberg talking about the shark leaping up on the boat and immediately asked for a role in the film. Isn't that funny?
I guess he was at the right party.
Yeah, right party.
Take a break.
I guess Peter Benchley, he talks about writing that book, and I don't know, he said something about he only had $300 in his account or something, and they were auctioning it to the movie studios. And I forget what it went for, but it went for quite a bit of money. He was like, I was real excited because I only had like $300 in my account or something. $300.
I didn't know he's the reporter in there.
Oh,
Yes.
he is?
Yeah.
Oh. I did not know that.
According to IMDb, he said he's the interviewer.
Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah, that's a good little tip. I didn't know that.
You look through the list, the cast of the ones that aren't credited, and they got the fat lady. They have hippie on beach, screaming swimmer, girl in music store. Oh, that's one thing. One of the deleted scenes that I absolutely love is where Quint goes in to a music store and he buys piano cord for his fishing line.
Oh, no way. That's funny.
Yeah, that's what he was using.
Oh, wow.
They should have left that in there.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a few things, and did you ever see some of the outtakes? There's not many, but there's one scene where Roy's trying to shoot the gun, and it would not shoot, and he's getting pissed. He's like, it won't shoot, it won't shoot, and it just keep doing it over and over and over. Finally, he's like, it won't shoot. This mother effer won't shoot. I don't know. You have to see it if you get a chance. It's pretty funny. I forget the exact thing he said, but man, it was mother effer won't shoot or something.
You said you watched the making, right?
I started it. It was like 2 hours.
Did they clean that up? Or is it just right off the disc, DVD?
I don't think they cleaned that one up. It might be I think it's in 1080p, but I don't think they did any kind of remastering. It looked kind of dated.
They probably just upconverted it.
Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, I gotta watch the whole thing because it was really interesting. It was like the crew. Did you know the crew named the shark Flaws? And the Great White Turd, or the Great White Turd, that was their name because the movie had so many problems.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're making a movie and the shark never works.
Yeah. Can you imagine what those people think now? It's like, man, we were on the most epic shark movie of all time. Just a huge part of history in Hollywood. And we thought that movie they probably thought it was going to be a B movie.
Yeah, maybe. I just know that there's that iconic picture of Spielberg like sitting in the mouth of the shark.
Oh, yeah. And do you remember when Roy Scheider was looking through that shark book?
Yeah.
I had that book.
Really?
And I don't know what happened to it. I got to look around because I was like, I have that same book on sharks, and I don't know. And I think I saw that recently at a thrift shop, and I said, I got that book, and I never picked it up. I'm kicking myself for it, but I don't know. It could still be there. I don't know. I got to find it, though. But yeah, I was like, I did not notice that the whole time. You know, almost, 47 years, I guess.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
But yeah, that movie had a big impact on my life. It definitely made me afraid of the ocean. Still.
Did any one of you watch the other movie that Robert Shaw's in called The Deep?
I love The Deep. Yeah, I did love The Deep. I don't know. I haven't seen it in so long.
I saw it same thing, probably 30 years ago.
Yeah, I've only seen it on TV.
It was like they were looking for treasure. There's a scene in there with a moray eel that used to scare the crap out of me when I was younger. I think it jumped out of something, which makes me afraid of moray eels too, because I seen one in real life that
1977
that was coming after me. They're scary in real life.
Oh, guess who wrote it?
Peter Benchley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote that. I remember. I had Nick Nolte. In it. Yeah. I have it on DVD somewhere.
Oh, we might have to watch this one. They got the song was done by Donna Summer, and John Barry did the score.
What's the synopsis? Does it say right there?
Let's see here.
Because I kept thinking there was pirates or something.
A pair of young vacationers are involved in a dangerous conflict with treasure hunters when they discover a way into a deadly wreck in Bermuda waters, featuring extended underwater sequences and a look into the affairs of treasure hunting.
There was another movie with Michael Caine and pirates, and the kid gets kidnapped and brainwashed by these pirates. Oh, The Island. I think that was written by Peter Benchley too. You guys remember that one?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've never seen it.
Yeah, The Island. There was another water one that
Louis Gossett Jr.'s in there.
Which one?
The Deep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, The Island came out in like 80. Yeah, it was written by... director Michael Ritchie. Yeah, written by Peter Benchley. Yeah, another one. Yeah, so he had a whole, string of water movies after that, I guess.
I do know when the movie came out, I don't know if you guys remember it, but they actually had a licensed toy, and it was a big shark.
Yes,
and you put all this junk in his mouth.
I had
and
it.
Took turns fishing it out with a hook.
And that game used to freak me out too.
That was the coolest game.
It was awesome.
I ended up rebuying it for my kid when he was young.
Did you?
And he had no interest in it. Yeah. But
what happened to it?
I might still have it in his closet, or I might have got rid of it. I don't remember.
I got it. You reminded me of something I have to start looking for at a thrift store. Because I love that toy. That game. Yeah. It was awesome. It used to get me every time. Dang it. It was kind of like Operation. It was like,
oh yeah,
steady hand.
They have
the jaw was just, it had rubber bands on it. So as the weight got less and less, it would snap or whatever.
Yeah.
They have a similar one now that my son has called Shark Attack, and you have to like pull these things out of it, and it's just like plastic, and it can close on you.
Wow. Did you guys ever play the Jaws? Remember the Jaws game?
Oh, for the NES?
Yes.
Oh, heck yeah. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I know you played it. Did Lago, you ever play it? Do you remember it?
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a great game. Go ahead, tell us about it.
It's really simple. I mean, it really is simple. You basically have to move your boat from one port to the next port. And if you do that, you power up. So what stops you is you either hit something or you run into the shark because he's chasing you. And then you have to collect these conch shells. And the more conch shells you get, that fuels your power up in the ports. And you have to watch out. The crabs make you go faster. And then there's like little sharks that come at you. And these jellyfish that dance like all over the place. And it gets really hard. But what you do is you just move from port to port. And then eventually you get a tracker so you can figure out where the shark is. And then you can get a sub. And then eventually what you do is once you get powerful enough, you just hit them with like one shot and it kills them. It's a lot of fun though. I remember it. I got frustrated at that game a lot. It gets really hard, but the cool thing is with the new mini systems like the NES Mini, you can save it anytime you want, and if you die, you can go back to that save point, and it makes it so much easier.
Yeah. Dude, I was just reading. I did not know this, but did you guys know Peter Benchley was kicked off the set after protesting the change to his novel, which was the ending? I didn't know that. It says the shark was supposed to die from blood loss while circling Brody. Spielberg changed this to the famous explosion scene, but not everybody agreed with his decision. And then Peter Benchley was kicked off for protesting it.
I think that would have been a terrible ending.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I agree. I like the explosion. I know Lego's kind of in the fence. In the fence, yeah, on the fence. But I don't think dying of blood loss, I think that would have been lame. Artist Roger Castell originally designed the film's iconic poster. The swimmer in the poster was a model he was sketching for an ad in Good Housekeeping.
Really?
He asked her to stay a little longer and lie on a stool in a swimming position. Was she naked? That's hilarious. I didn't know that one. Oh, the beach goers in the 4th of July scene didn't need much prodding to get them out of the water. When the supposed shark attack occurred, the ocean temperature that day in June was 64 degrees.
Ouch.
Yeah. They paid the Martha Vineyard extras $64 each, and all they had to do was ran across the beach and screamed during the shark attack scene. Man, can you imagine being in that movie as an extra? I mean, I would have paid them to be an extra.
I gotta talk real quick. I gotta talk about my favorite scene of the whole movie.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's the most iconic shot. I think a lot of movies have done this since. It's that scene. It's that shot of Brody where the camera's moving in and the lens is zooming out, so it creates that effect that it's lighting.
Yes.
And with the music is done like perfect to that scene.
Yeah.
And that's got to be one of the best shots in the whole film.
Yeah, that's a great shot. I thought of that last night. I was like, man, that is just so clever, you know? Gosh.
And they teach you how to do it. It's
right.
You got to be really steady, but you can pull it off. I've done it before. It looks really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That was a great shot.
I wonder how long it took them to, getting those barrels. Those barrels keep popping up and stuff.
Yeah.
I bet that was kind of a hassle to drag those things under and get them to pop up.
I know. So they were using some kind of mechanical device. I don't know if it's some kind of what do you call those
submarine?
things? Yeah, something like where those divers use to I don't know. I don't know if it, like jet propelled type stuff. I'm sure they were.
So I wonder if that was the stuff that was shot in the tank then. There's no way, unless it was shallow water, they'd be able to do that in the ocean. Okay, so it looks, the Brody house was shot Vineyard Haven, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Martha's
And so
Vineyard.
was the Amity Police Department. Most of the town, it looks like it was all shot there.
Yeah. I was telling you, there's a lot of good insights in these two books. I'll share a link in the description, but I ordered the one. I just saw snippets of it, but the Jaws Memories book, and then there's the Jaws Log, LOG, expanded edition. The shooting script. I don't know why it's called that, but I don't know. There's a lot of good tidbits in there. Because I guess Benchley originally titled the book Silence in the Deep, and then had like 200 possible titles. And when the title Jaws was the only one both Peter Benchley and his editors agreed upon. I mean, just that. And then I guess Spielberg thought it was about dentistry or something, or about a dentist.
Really?
And I'm thinking, man, Jaws, that is just a great name. It's simple.
Well,
it's awesome, I think, you know.
You know who shows up? I think it's Octopussy, but you know who shows up? Jaws shows up in that. I think. I don't know if he's in that one.
Oh, Jaws in Bond movies.
Yeah.
I always thought that was crazy how that guy was called Jaws, you know,
Yeah.
with the big braces. Jaws. I was like, why did they use that name? I didn't get that.
Well, he had metal teeth.
I mean, Jaws. What was the first movie though? Jaws. We're talking about a character in the Bond movies named Jaws with these big metal braces or teeth or whatever he had on him. What Bond movie did he first appear in?
I'm trying to find it. Okay, he first appeared in The Spy Who Loved Me.
What year was that?
That was 1977.
Okay, so it's like they it was almost like they took the movie Jaws and put his name on Jaws. It was kind of, because I mean, you could have picked other names.
But you know what? A lot of those movies were based on the book by what's his name. So he probably already had created the character before they made that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe.
it could be.
Guess what? There's only 3 appearances. He didn't show up in Octopussy.
Oh, he was in Moonraker. I know that.
It was Spy Who Loved Me, then Moonraker, and then For Your Eyes Only.
Was he a wrestler or something, or what was he? He was big. He was a big dude.
Let's see here.
Poonsnaker?
He looked big. I mean,
Okay, so in the
Towered over
novel, this guy was a hoodlum named Saul Horowitz.
oh, so not even Jaws.
So it wasn't even. Oh, this is hilarious! It says in the initial script for The Spy Who Loved Me concluded with Jaws being killed by a shark.
Oh,
After a rough test screening, Jaws was so well liked that the scene was changed.
oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Richard Kyle.
How big was that guy? Because
He's big.
7 foot.
Oh,
seven,
my God.
Almost 7'2", 315 pounds.
Dang. What did he do before that? Is he I mean, he looks like a wrestler to me. I mean, he's like that giant. What's his name?
Andre the Giant?
Yeah, he's like Andre the Giant size.
He was a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman, a nightclub bouncer,
Oh, nightclub bouncer.
and also a cemetery plot salesman.
Oh, wow. Well, one of his quotes, I just looked him up. He goes, not only did God deliver me from the bondage of alcoholism, he also blessed my family financially because of my commitment to honor what he had done for me and for not doing what I believed could possibly be destructive to others. I don't know, that's pretty cool. So he was an alcoholic, I guess, at one point. Oh, he was in the pilot, dude, of Incredible Hulk. I don't even remember.
He said he was in one scene and he was uncredited.
Oh, he was? Oh my gosh. I wonder if that guy, he's probably dead now, isn't he?
He was also in the Inspector Gadget movie, and he played famous big guy with silver teeth.
Really?
Nah. That had to hurt your teeth, man, them big metal things. I mean, maybe they had it protected with some rubber or something, but man, that had to be miserable keeping those teeth in. Oh, he died in 2014. Ah, that's sad. Poor guy. Well, we got off track a little bit, but
Right.
Yeah, but
with Jaws,
it's
right?
related. It's
still
related to Jaws.
Yeah. He is Jaws. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, see, I mean, you learn something all the time. Hey guys, do you want to get an exclusive 10% off Entertainment Earth? This is the most abundant pop culture merchandise site on the net. You gotta check it out. Everything from action figures, collectibles, exclusives, all kinds of toys. You have to check this out, guys. And you can get an exclusive 10% off with our coupon code and special URL, all put together at PopEnvyShop.com. PopEnvyShop.com. If it doesn't work the first time, just refresh with our link at PopEnvyShop.com. Everything in your cart should go down to 10% off. All right, guys. Well, we really appreciate you listening to Retro Media Talk. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Jaws, talking about Jaws. I really love the film. I always will. It's a really special film to me.
Check out the movie and
if you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry, we might have spoiled something for you, but I hope anybody listening to this podcast, for the most part, have seen the movie. Thanks for listening to Retro Media Talk. We'll see you next time. Please like our Facebook page and please subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Red Circle. You can also check us out on YouTube via Craze TV with a Kraze TV. Just look for the official Craze TV logo. And Anchor FM. Look for a new episode next week. Thank you, guys.
Adios.
I'm your man for every land.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.